Huh?
But you know how to use it.
No.
Posters, tags, bumper stickers, anything that you have left. Nothing should be left. Nothing in the trunk of your car, nothing in your quarters. But I know that they don't have these supporters in this meeting. So what we're going to ask you to do is when John gets through speaking, we're going to break this meeting up, and then I'm going to ask you all to get in your cars and follow us down there. And when we walk, the press is going to be there. I mean, it's going to knock them out. They won't be able, how can they afford it? We want your pretty faces down there smiling with the Eaves stickers on, so as many of you as who can, get going when John gets through speaking right here. So, Brother Kitchen, Ramada Inn Coliseum, High Street exit. Brother Kitchen.
You know, John had a... Yeah, let's give John action. Brother's done a wonderful job managing this campaign. We thank God for him and all the workers. Let's give him a big hand. You know, John Hopper had a birthday. When was it? The day of the Neshoba County Fair. And he's got a beautiful pair of boots. I'm telling you, they're beautiful. He's a nice... He didn't even have to get his teeth fixed to look that good. Okay, now look, we've got some little tips here, gold tips. And you know, they've got a gold bathtub down there, or they did have. I don't know whether they moved it or not. You know, they said in the paper the other day that all of the people that supported Cliff Finch was, don't you let that specimen of the paper up there fool you. Why, my goodness! Well, I remember just before these.
Country boy can still survive. I'll tell you, I just appreciate you coming here today. I'll tell you, this thing is just going so fast and so furious until I'll tell you this, I look out here and I see how hard all of y'all been working, and then I see new faces that's come, and then I just go across Mississippi and I just see how fortunate it is to have such good friends of mine who broke her arm right there. I know she broke it for me on somebody's head. I think I know whose head it was. We thank you for coming. We're on the way to winning the governorship of Mississippi, and you got the opportunity. You and I have the opportunity for the first time in our lifetime to have a governor who truly and honestly represents the people of this state, don't we? Don't we have that? Now let me tell you something. You know, I appreciate y'all, and I know the work y'all go through. And listen, don't you get discouraged right here at the end now. Right here, when I was talking about that horse race that's going, we were talking about that horse race that's going so fast and everything. We can't let down 1 minute. We got to go just straight as we can for the next 2 or 3 days, and I guarantee you, when we get across that finishing line, they're going to say, hey, boy, something happened, and we don't know what happened, but the people of Mississippi are listening. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how I appreciate y'all. Because I know y'all are honest and fair. and I know that the press is honest and fair. You know what I told you? And I appreciate that. I'll tell you this. You know something the other day that struck me real strange is that we went to the Neshoba County Fair, but before we went, 2 weeks before, the political writers said 2 weeks before, they said, now, there's Eaves posters all over the Neshoba County Fair. But don't worry about that, because that don't make no difference. It's according to how many of those banners gets up on those houses that count. When we went to the Neshoba County Fair, we had twice as many as anybody else. And we didn't put them there, they put them there. They put them there. And then the press says, oh, that don't really matter. You know, we were wrong about that. That really didn't matter. And then when we got to the fair, they said, but you watch now, whoever turns them on at the Neshoba County Fair, whoever really gets their attention, whoever has the crowd, that's going to be the next governor. And we go down there, and we have 750 to 1,000 people who walk and march around with us through the Neshoba County Fair, people that came from Iuka to Pascagoula, from Vicksburg to Shibuya, and they came on their own. They did not come in a bus. They came on their own time, their own money, and we didn't pack them down there by the stream. And they came on their own because they support the working men's candidate, the people's candidate, the taxpayers' candidate of this state. And lo and behold, they said that don't really matter. That don't really matter. That don't count. That don't count. And let me tell you this: along about 11 o'clock next week, on Tuesday the 4th, they're going to say, look, this fellow's got in second place, but now that don't really matter. That don't really matter. They're going to say, oh, he won't last, he can't last, he can't last. Well, listen, I can last as long as they're charging $700 to $800 for a car tag in this state. Don't you ever think that we're not concerned about other things? Listen, I'm just so sick and tired sometimes of people putting Mississippi down, aren't you? I am. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And listen, my voice is a little hoarse, but I'm going to tell you this. I believe the people of Mississippi are just as smart as somebody in Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, or Louisiana. And I believe that if we're that smart, why haven't we got the good jobs in this state? You know why? Because we've never had a governor in the state of Mississippi who had the opportunity, without the press being on his back every day of the week, to get out and try to find jobs for our people. You can't just be sitting there in a mansion one day and say, well, I'm going to find some jobs, and look up in the sky, and then one day you see a parachute open, and some guy floats down in one of those parachutes and lands right there in the rose garden of the mansion, and he says, I'm from General Motors. I thought we'd stop here and put a plant in Mississippi. You think that's going to happen? That's what they want to happen. They don't want a governor who will get across the state of Mississippi, across the country, and find jobs. That's our problem. We have been misled by the people in the powerhouses down here. They want to keep telling us and getting us off on some track or another that really don't mean a hill of beans. They want to tell us that, oh, the main problem is this, or the main problem is that. The main problem is our folks are not employed or underemployed or not making enough money, and that's because we do not have a governor in the governor's office that will use the great assets of this state. The Tennessee Tom Bigler Waterway up there was given to us. Listen, it was given to us for the purpose of industrial development. At the same time, we gave away the biggest canal we ever had, the Panama Canal. Now, we ought not to let this canal over here in the eastern part of our state go without industry, because if that's the truth, then we're giving it away too. It's time that we have Now, the way we're going to have to do that, and I've presented a plan, and every time I present a plan, they say, well, what you going to do? How you going to do it? I say what I'm going to do. I say how I'm going to do it. And then they say, okay, how you going to do it? I say, I'm going to do it this way. Don't do it that way. Then I say, okay, how you going to do it? They don't ever understand. You know, they don't listen. They won't listen. They don't want to listen.
Right.
But you know that?
Right.
Now they wonder why it is that we're so powerful. They have not been out in the trenches.
That's right.
They have not.
Yes, sir.
They have not been out there where the people are. They have not been out to the rallies. They have not been out to the stores. They have not been out to the factories. They have not been even about, they didn't even want to go to the fair. It was too hot. You know? It was too hot. And when we got through speaking, it was so hot, they didn't want to stay. They didn't want to stay. And listen. The reason we got a problem in this state is because that we've got people that are putting us down. Now, I'm tired of people turning on television. Let's turn on television. Somebody say you got the source education, you got the source teachers, and you're just lucky to be alive in this state with any type of education. Now, listen, all of y'all went to school here, didn't you? Aren't y'all smart? Ain't y'all got Listen, I know you're smart because you stayed here. You stayed here in Mississippi. This is the best place in the whole United States. But I just believe it's time for us in this state to start recognizing that the problem is that we don't have jobs. If we can have the best education in the whole world, and I promise you, I'm going to fight just as hard as anybody to keep our educational standards up. I'm going to fight from the word go to do that. But I promise you this, I'm going to fight just as hard to make sure that every young child, this young boy right here, Jimbo, or this little young girl right here, this child right here, that they have an opportunity to get up when they graduate from high school or college and go to work in Mississippi. No, candidate, you start telling them about the job issues. You start talking about the jobs. And listen, but don't you let them get you off on something that's not important about this state. Now listen. The next thing is you tell them that when John Arthur Eaves is elected governor, that we're going to put a stop to this cocaine and drug smuggling into this state, and we're going to back our law enforcement. And if they want to go easy on them, that's their business. But when we send them up to Parchment, they're going to stay there for a certain length of time, and we're not going to make excuses, and we're not going to let them go to just another Holiday Inn and sit up there and do nothing while they're in there. We're going to make those students go to work, do something beneficial for this state. Now, somebody told me the other day, what you going to have them do? I'll tell you this, we're going to have them make car tags. That's what we do. They thought this country boy was down. They thought this country boy was down. And now they don't know. They don't know that this thing right here walks across all lines. It walks across anybody that has a car. It walks across anybody that has a pickup. Walks across anybody that has a motorcycle or a big truck or any type of vehicle that moves. This is the worst inequity of taxes that we have in the state of Mississippi. That is true. That's the worst inequity. But listen, there's some other things that are important in this state and I want to talk to you about. And that is this. In this state today that I was talking to you about, this drug smuggling, we've got to let them know now. I'm honest to tell you the truth. This drug smuggling is getting to something. We've got to let them know that that's an important issue. You know, you hadn't heard anything out of Jackson about that in hardly this whole year. Hey, it's increased 7,500% in 1 year. And nobody is speaking out about it. Nobody's talking about it. You know, when we first started the campaign, everybody was talking about illiteracy. Everybody was talking about illiterate. Have you noticed that's kind of fading back out of the way? We're not talking about that. They ain't talking about no illiteracy. And then we started talking about the fact that if we weren't illiterate, and then they all began to get on. You know, the next thing that we said, let's put the prisoners to work. And by George, I'm telling you, yesterday I got the third candidate in a row that's for putting the prisoners to work. Are we being successful? I guarantee you. And listen, you'll know when we're going to win. When you hear them say we need a $10 car tag. Did you know that we have the highest price in the whole nation right here for a car tag? Did you know that? That's true. You think about this. Are those folks smarter than we are? They're not smarter than we are. Why do they have a $6.75 car tag? Why does Arkansas have one for $17.50? Why does Tennessee have one for $23? And why does Alabama have one for $27? It's because they've had a governor in office before that was a populace who recognized the needs of the working people, the common people, and poor people of that state, and that they needed some tax relief, and they stood up and they got a car tag of $10. Now, you go and you listen. But listen, don't you let them think that they got you down. They ain't got you down. They ain't got me down either. I'm up. And listen, I'm going to tell you, we're going to be governor of Mississippi. And don't you get worried about it. Listen, those things, those polls that they took 3 or 4 weeks ago, that was before the invasion of the $10 car tag. You know, can't you just understand in the Second World War that the Japanese would have probably printed 2 days before that they invaded Okinawa? They said Okinawa was saved. Wouldn't they said that? That was before the real invasion of John Arthur Eaves' campaign for car tags. Listen, they'll take a poll today. They'll take a poll today, and I guarantee you, they won't print a word of it. They won't print a word of that poll today. You know why? It don't suit their needs. You know, they want to go over there and get some company that we know is a Republican thing. And I tell you this, I like Republicans. I'm not getting down on Republicans because I think we've had some good people that are Republicans. But listen, they go and they get a Republican poster over here, and they say, you print this and this right here, and print them in the order you want them. The order you want. That's why they say, okay, you can beat this fellow better, you can beat this fellow best, you can beat this fellow best, and everything. But you sure ain't gonna beat John Arthur Eaves, so put him down. Because they know that. They know that. We're up. And I'll tell you this, on election day, you get out here, between now and then, I'll tell you, I stopped in the middle of the road in Greenwood the other day, and I thought I was gonna get tackled. But people said, give me one of those car tags. You're the car tag man. I said, I am the car tag governor. I'm not the car tag man. I am the car tag governor. Because that represents something. It represents my philosophy. It represents my philosophy. It represents that I am for the working people, the common people, and poor people of this state, and I'm going to continue to be that way. And I want you to help me. But listen, get out now and go. Get out there and go like never before. Because listen, when you see that last person come into that polls on at 6:45, you say, I got 15 more minutes and then I can go home. You see? But stay there with them. Remind the people that close to those polls that John Arthur Eaves is the man of the people, that John Arthur Eaves is the man that has promised some promises, then committed to the people of Mississippi. They won't have one string on us. We will have broken the tie that binds us and has chained us for the last 20 or 30 or 40 years in this state. We will have literally chopped it in two. And they will go sailing off into the darkness, into the past, and we will move forward into the future for a new Mississippi. For a new Mississippi. Now, I want you to know something. That's right. I want you to know something. I want you to know something. I do not want to go down in history as having been a governor of Mississippi. I don't want that. I want to go down in history as a governor for the people of Mississippi. And my family and I want to thank each one of you for diligently coming down here every Sunday and being here and helping us and getting out in those trenches and working. We want to personally thank you. We want to thank our staff that's worked so long and hard in the office. And I know many of you that just been out there on hot days and made speeches and give out literature and just done all kinds of those things. Our heart just goes out and tells you, every one of us, we love you and we appreciate what you do. So now, remember this. You have something?
remember this, that when they try to kill us politically, that God is our strength and our refuge, and whom shall we fear? God is more powerful than any newspaper or any reporter or anybody in the state of Mississippi, and God is with us.
All right, now let me tell you something, really. The press, I'm not talking about it anymore, but I'm going to tell you just one thing. Remember, I told you about the young man that died, that went up the beaches of Iwo Jima, or he might have died at Okinawa, or he might have been killed in Okinawa, you know? That young man, in the green, or blue, or that young man was a sailor, or could have been a Marine. But that young man that laid down his life, let me tell you what he did. He did that so we'd have a free press. A free press. And he did it because we could have a fair press. A free press and a fair press. He did it for me. He did it for you. He did it so that this country of ours could remain free. He did it so that we could get down to right to vote. That we could reach the dreams of the heights in this state and in this nation. That as far as your mind can carry, and as heavy as your heart may be, your love in your heart, and that one day, that every young child in Mississippi, that every young boy and young girl can be what they want to be right here in Mississippi. And that's why I believe that in 1776 that God gave us the most beautiful flag that the world has ever known. And you know, He gave us a flag of red, white, and blue. And I believe that He gave us the red to always remind us that a government like this was built because of blood and sweat and tears to build a great country like this. And I believe that He gave us the right to always remind us that a government to stand must remain pure and honest. And I believe that He gave us the blue and the stars to always remind us to look up to the heavens, from whence comes the strength of all nations. And as has been said before, I walked through a county courthouse square. On a park bench, an old man was sitting there. I said, "The old courthouse is kind of run down." He said, "No, it'll do for our little town." I said, "Your old flagpole is leaned a little bit, and that's a ragged old flag you've got hanging on it." He said, "Sit down." So I sat down. "Is this the first time that you've been to our little town?" I said, "I think it is." He said, "Well, we don't like to brag, but we're kind of proud of that ragged old flag. You see, we got a hole in that flag there with Washington here across the Delaware." And she got powder burned the night that Francis got Eaves was riding safely DC. And she got a bad trip in New Orleans with Pakenham and Jackson took it out of seams. And she almost fell at Alamo with a Texas flag, but she waved on though. She got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville, and she got cut again at Charlottesville. There was Robert E. Lee and Beauregard and Bragg, and the south wind blew hard on that ragged old flag. On Floundersville in World War I, she got a big hole from a birthday gun. She turned blood red in World War II, and she hung in the door in town too. She was in Korea, Vietnam. She went where she was sent for Uncle Sam. She waved the top of the ship above the briny foam, but they bound for away her right here home. In her own good land, she's been denied, dishonored, refused. And the government for which she stands has been scandalized throughout the land. But she's getting threadbare, and she's wearing thin. But she's in good shape for the shape she's in. Because she's been through the fire before, and I believe that she can take a whole lot more. So we raise her up every morning, and we take her down every night. We don't let her touch the ground, and we fold her up right. On second thought, I do like to brag, because here in Mississippi, we're mighty proud of that ragged old flag. Thank you. Everybody be here.
heard on Arthur, he's our man. Let's have the greatest party ever Tuesday night!
All right, everybody, y'all get in your cars. Let's go down to the Ramada Coliseum and show the water people who have the support. Repeat the Neshoba County Fair.
Fine, how are you?
Get in your car, follow all of them down to the Ramada Coliseum. That's where we're going. We got to be there in just about 10 minutes.
Not a good crowd.
Ramada Inn Coliseum. Let's all go down there.
How you?
John, wherever you are in the crowd, go get in the car because you got to be there.
The wind is blowing right
Is he going somewhere now?
Yeah, he's going to a. He's going to a. Going to be a TV foreman.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
5:30.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I've seen some new faces.